All right. So today, we're going deep into self-affirmations.
Okay.
You sent over some really interesting articles.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I don't know why, but it really caught my eye.
Yeah.
50 self-affirmations to help you stay motivated every day.
Okay.
And it's on the U.S. Oral Surgery Management website.
Interesting.
So I thought, before we all start,
Right.
chanting, I am amazing.
Yeah.
There's a fascinating little twist in here that we need to talk about.
For sure. The idea that just like saying nice things to yourself is going to make everything better.
Right.
That's a bit of a simplification.
I know. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
The article is all about how great affirmations are for motivation, but then throws in this research from 2009 saying that self-affirmations can actually backfire if you have low self-esteem.
Right.
So that's a pretty big caveat.
Yeah, and it's not just like some random thing they threw in there.
Right.
This study was published in Psychological Science, which is a well-respected journal.
Okay.
And it involved over 100 participants.
Wow.
They used a controlled experimental design to measure the impact of affirmations on mood.
Interesting.
And yeah, the findings were pretty revealing.
So how did they backfire? Because I can see how if you have low self-esteem and you're telling yourself all this positive stuff, you might not buy it. But like, how does that actually make things worse?
Well, so the study says that for people with low self-esteem, repeating positive affirmations that they don't believe can actually trigger negative emotions, it's almost like it's shining a spotlight on the gap between their ideal self and how they currently feel.
Okay.
And then instead of feeling motivated, they end up feeling discouraged or inadequate.
Oh, wow. I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah.
But I could see how if you're telling yourself, I am confident, but you're not feeling confident, it just make that gap even bigger.
Totally. And the study found that this negative effect was especially bad when people weren't allowed to acknowledge any potential inaccuracies in the affirmations.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if someone is struggling with self-doubt and they're forced to repeat statements that feel untrue, it can make those negative feelings even worse.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the words themselves.
Right.
It's about whether the person believes them.
Yeah.
And whether they're willing to face that, maybe they're not quite there yet.
Exactly. Self-affirmations can be a powerful tool, but they're not like a magic solution.
Right.
It's important to approach them with self-awareness
and
a willingness to explore any underlying issues that might be contributing to low self-esteem.
So before we all jump on the affirmation bandwagon, sounds like we need to take a step back and check in with ourselves.
Absolutely.
About our own self-esteem.
Yeah. If you are struggling with self-doubt, it might be more beneficial to kind of explore those doubts. And try to address the root causes rather than just covering them up with positive affirmations.
That makes me wonder, like, what are some of the root causes of low self-esteem?
Right.
Is that something like you're born with, or is it learned?
That is a very complex question.
Of course it is.
And there's no simple answer.
Right, but it's something to think about.
Yeah.
If we're going to use self-affirmations
for sure
as a tool to improve ourselves.
Definitely.
So what are some of the factors that can contribute to low self-esteem?
Well, lots of things can play a role. Early childhood experiences can have a big impact on our sense of self-worth.
That makes sense.
If a child is constantly criticized or made to feel inadequate, they may internalize those messages and develop a negative self-image.
What about things that happen to us later in life?
Absolutely. Those can affect our self-esteem too.
Like what kind of things?
Well, traumatic events like abuse, neglect, or bullying can also lead to low self-esteem. These experiences can really shake our sense of safety and security, leading to those feelings of worthlessness or inadequacy.
So it's not just about childhood. It's about what happens to us throughout our whole life.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that self-esteem isn't fixed. It can go up and down depending on what's happening in our lives.
So even if someone normally has high self-esteem, they could still have times where they feel down on themselves.
Exactly. And that's totally normal. It's important to be kind to ourselves during those times. And remember that our self-worth shouldn't depend on things outside of us.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
We're not defined by what we achieve or don't achieve, but by who we are as people.
Exactly. And that's where self-affirmations can actually be helpful. If you use them right, they can help us to tap into that sense of inherent worth and remind ourselves of our strength and what we're good at.
So it's not about pretending everything is perfect.
Right.
But about focusing on the good parts of ourselves.
Yes.
And our lives.
It's about shifting our perspective.
Okay.
And being more positive and supportive to ourselves.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So how do we choose affirmations that are going to work for us? Especially when we're looking at a list of 50.
Yeah.
Like in this article.
That is a great question. And I think the important thing to remember is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another.
So it's not about picking the ones that sound the most impressive.
Right.
Or the ones that everybody else is using.
Exactly. It's about finding the ones that really speak to you.
Okay.
The ones that feel genuine and true to you.
So how do we know if an affirmation is really speaking to us?
You know, just pay attention to how it makes you feel when you say it. Does it make you feel empowered? Does it make you feel motivated?
Right.
Or does it feel forced or fake?
If it doesn't feel right, don't force it.
Exactly. Trust your gut feeling.
Okay.
And choose the affirmations that feel most aligned with who you really are.
All right, so this article does have a pretty big selection, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does 50 to be exact.
50. And they cover a pretty wide range of themes, too.
Yeah.
Confidence, motivation, gratitude, self-acceptance.
Right.
It's almost too much.
It can be, and that's why it's so important to be self-aware.
Right.
And choose the ones that really resonate with you.
Well, let's dive into these 50 affirmations.
Okay.
See what we can find.
Let's explore the power of positive self-talk.
Yeah.
And how it can help us create a more fulfilling life.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
So we had this list of 50 affirmations, and the article doesn't really tell us how to choose.
Yeah, it's true.
Which ones are right for us.
It is a lot like being handed a giant menu with no recommendations.
Exactly. Like, where do we even begin?
Right.
Some of them are pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like, I am capable, but others are more unique.
Well, that's where the fun comes in, right? Okay, it's about finding the ones that speak to you personally. And you know what clicks with you today might be different tomorrow.
Okay, so it's not about finding the perfect affirmation.
Right.
It's about what feels good right now.
Exactly. It's about, like, being present with yourself and what you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's try a few on.
Okay.
And see how they feel. How about this one?
Okay.
I am an unstoppable force of nature.
Ooh, I mean, who wouldn't want to feel like that?
Right.
That's a powerful one.
It is, but does it feel a little over the top to you?
I can see how it might feel a little intense.
Yeah.
It makes me think of, like, a hurricane or a volcano.
Or something.
Powerful, but maybe a little scary.
Yeah, maybe something a little more down to earth.
Okay.
How about this? I am turning down the volume of negativity in my life while simultaneously turning up the volume of positivity.
Ooh, I love that one.
I love the imagery of that.
Yeah, it really emphasizes that we have a choice.
Right.
We can choose what we focus on.
It feels more like something I can actually do.
Right.
Not just something I am.
Yeah, it encourages you to actively shape your experience.
Exactly.
It's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about making choices that actually support your well-being.
Okay, one more.
Okay.
My soul radiates from the inside and warms the souls of others.
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
I know, right?
It really speaks to our connection with each other.
It does. It kind of makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
It's definitely a bit more touchy-feely.
Yeah.
But I like that it's about connecting with people in a positive way.
It highlights the power of kindness and empathy.
Okay, so we've got the unstoppable force, the volume control, and the radiating soul.
It's quite a mix.
It is. And I think it shows how important it is to pick affirmations that fit your own values and goals.
It's like trying on clothes, right?
Yes.
Some things fit better than others.
Exactly.
And what feels good one day might not the next day.
So we've talked about how affirmations can be bad, especially for people with low self-esteem.
Right.
And we've talked about how to choose ones that work for us.
Yeah.
But affirmations are just one tool out of many.
They're not magic.
No, they're not.
You can't just repeat a few phrases, expect your life to transform overnight.
So what else can we do
to
build real self-esteem and make lasting change?
Well, actions speak louder than words, right?
Yeah.
So besides affirmations, think about things you can actually do to reach your goals and feel good about yourself.
So instead of saying, I am confident, you actually sign up for that public speaking class.
Exactly. Or if you're struggling with self-doubt,
Right.
you start a gratitude journal.
Okay.
So you're focusing on the good things in your life.
So it's about matching what you do with what you say.
Exactly. And remember, building self-esteem is a journey.
Yeah.
It's not a destination.
Okay.
There are going to be ups and downs along the way.
That's so true. It's not about being perfectly confident all the time.
Right.
It's about learning how to deal with challenges.
And remembering that setbacks don't mean you're not good enough.
Okay.
They're chances to learn and grow.
It's about being kind to ourselves.
Absolutely.
And realizing that we're all still learning and growing.
And that's actually another place where affirmations can be helpful.
Okay.
They can remind us to be patient with ourselves and to celebrate the little wins along the way.
So it's not just about the big goals.
Right.
It's about appreciating the progress we make every day.
Yeah, even the small steps in the right direction deserve to be celebrated.
And those small steps can sometimes lead to big breakthroughs.
Totally. I agree.
Right.
It's the small, consistent efforts that make a real difference in the long run.
We often get so focused on the end goal.
Yeah.
And then we get discouraged when we don't see results right away.
But it's the journey that matters.
Yeah.
It's those small steps that build momentum and create lasting change.
It's not about perfection. It's about progress.
Exactly. And that's definitely something to celebrate.
Yeah. It's easy to forget about those little wins when we're so busy.
Right.
But you're right. They are important.
They're like the foundation of self-esteem.
Okay.
Each time we celebrate a win,
right,
no matter how small it is,
right,
we're reinforcing our belief in ourselves.
And that can have a ripple effect on everything else in our lives, right?
Absolutely. When we feel good about ourselves, we show up differently. We're more confident, more resilient.
Right.
We're more likely to go after our goals.
It's also important to remember that we don't have to do this all alone, right?
Oh, that's such a good point.
Like having other people to support us could be really helpful for building self-esteem.
It's crucial. We're not meant to go through this alone.
Right.
Connecting with people, whether it's friends, family, or a therapist, can give us a sense of belonging.
Okay.
Validation, encouragement.
It's like having our own personal cheerleading squad.
Exactly. And sometimes just having someone listen to us and tell us they understand can make a huge difference.
It can be really empowering. To share our struggles and our successes.
Yes. It reminds us that we're not alone.
Right.
And that we have people we can count on.
So to wrap up our deep dive on self-affirmations, it sounds like the key takeaways are self-awareness, authenticity, action, and connection.
You got it.
So understanding ourselves, choosing affirmations that feel genuine, doing things that support our goals, and reaching out for help when we need it.
And remembering that it's all a journey, not a destination.
There will be challenges along the way.
For sure.
But you can get through them.
Absolutely.
With self-compassion and a desire to grow.
We can build a strong sense of self-worth.
I think this has given our listeners a lot to think about.
Me too.
From the research on self-affirmations to the importance of self-awareness, taking action, and connecting with others.
It's been a great conversation.
It really has, and I hope it inspires everyone listening to embrace the power of positive self-talk and to start their own journey of self-discovery and growth.
And remember, you don't have to have everything figured out to start.
Just take it one step at a time.
Yes.
Celebrate your wins.
Absolutely.
And remember that you are worthy.
You are worthy.
Of love and happiness.
That's such a beautiful message.
Thank you for joining me on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself.